how it started, why it started. But what I can see today is that there's a lot of new faces. So I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Christian Price to give you a little bit of history on why the program was started. I'll dive into the details, and then Ellen Buddington, our Marketing Communications Specialist for Economic Development, will go into what's new.
Good afternoon. How are you guys? Great. Thanks for coming out. Can you go back a slide? So, if I had known that the glamour shots from the other two that really spruce it up there, I would have gotten a better shot of me, I think. But no, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much. You know, we rolled out the Maricopa Advocate Program here 6 years ago now. This is our 6th year. And the idea behind this is really that I tell the story all the time. In fact, just so you know, we had a Wall Street Journal reporter here today in the city of Maricopa. And, you know, if you remember, we've had some articles in the past about Maricopa in the Wall Street Journal. And, you know, they haven't always been flattering because they dealt with the housing crisis and some of these issues. And, you know, when I ran for mayor the first time in 2012, I went to a gal and I asked her if she'd be my campaign manager. Didn't know anything about running, and frankly, neither did she, but we figured, what the heck, right? We'll try and see how this goes. And in the process, one of the things she said to me that has always stuck, and it's always been in the back of my mind, and she said to me, she said, you know, Christian, why do I want to help you run for mayor when everyone I know wants to leave the city? And I went, that is so depressing, you know? Come on. This is not what we're about. You know, great, we got challenges, right? But we're pioneers. We got things to do here. We have great things to accomplish. And so from that point on, I remember that this was going to be, at least my journey, was going to be about how do we make Maricopa something special. It was already special, but how do we make it more special? And what we needed to do is we needed to get people to understand the story that we have here. What is our history? Where do we come from? You know, what about our relationships? What is our cultural diversity? You know, why is it that when I look across this room and I see so many diverse faces, that's what makes us great? And why is it? So, if we can take that, we can couple it, we can bundle it, and then together we can learn about why and how the city works, okay? And we have a few things for that. We have things like the Citizens Leadership Academy. If you've never been to that, you need to sign up for that. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn about how the internal workings of this city happen. But then we need to learn something else, which is what is really going on, and that is separating fact from fiction, okay? Who here has ever been in the garage and your neighbors come over and said, I heard this, right? Or this isn't going in because it's their fault. Or this isn't happening, or this will never happen. I mean, story of my life, right? Even as mayor, every day I get it, oh, I heard this. Okay, well, let me correct you just a little bit, not to be rude, but if I can set the record straight, then I know that I now have somebody that is not just me, but is two of us setting the record straight. And isn't two more powerful than one? Sure. What if I could take it to 4, and from 4 to 8, and 8 to 16? So the idea behind the MAP program was to say, how do we create an army of advocates for the city of Maricopa that learn about what's going on? You're learning it from our economic development team, right? You're learning it directly from the folks who are teaching me sometimes on what's going on. And I think that at the end of the day, the more that we know about the city, how it works, what are our boundaries. I always say, if you want to think outside the box, you first have to define it. You got to know what the legal parameters are, right? You got to know what can you do and what can't you do. And then the other side of it is the politics of it. And I don't mean who's running the city. What I mean the politics is, for every time somebody over here says, I like this idea, someone on this side says, I don't. And that's just the reality. And so you have to find a way to listen to both sides so that you can generate a better idea or a better policy, and then find a way to move that forward. And even if there's always going to be someone who doesn't like something, but what you got to find is, how do you get the bulk of folks on board? How do you get them to understand what you're trying to accomplish? What is the vision that you have, that we have, that collectively the city is trying to accomplish, so that in the end, we are all marching to the same beat, and we're all doing it in a fashion that gets us where we want to go. I can tell you right now that, again, going back to my story about the folks that said, you know, the gal that said, everyone I want to know wants to leave, she doesn't say that anymore. And I look at that as a huge success. People are choosing to live here. People are choosing to come here. And do we have challenges? Absolutely. That's the nature of a growing city, especially one that grows as fast as the city of Maricopa does. But you know what? Our reputation is getting out there as a city that not only grows really fast, but it does so with pride, and it does so in a fashion that says, how do we make this happen as quickly as we can? But do it in a right way, right? We learn from other cities all day long about what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And we try and take that and we emulate it. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel, right? If we can do this quickly and fast, then the better off we'll be. But finally, I want to talk about networking. I am a huge, huge advocate of networking and relationships. The reason we're getting known out there in the world is because people are finally starting to talk positive. For a long time during the recession, people talked negatively about Maricopa, right? And for every 3 people or 4 people I heard talk negatively, there was always that one person that talked positively. What if you could change that to have 3 people talk positively? How many more people do you influence that may say, well, they thought really highly about it. So I hear good, I hear bad, but wouldn't it be better to go see for myself, right, to find out? And we know for a fact, Denise and I talk about this all the time, that if we can get people to this city, if they can come here, they can experience it for themselves, it changes their mind. I told you earlier today, we had a Wall Street Journal reporter here. It was funny when we spoke about a week ago, and in that process, one of the first things out of her mouth was, I went back and I read the past articles, and I said to myself, are you guys still around? Are you still here? I envisioned tumbleweeds rolling through in a ghost town, right? And I said, you need to come out and see us, because it's anything but. We have a great future ahead of us. We have so many exciting things that we are poised to explode in, and I am so excited for it. This is years and years and years of culmination worth of work, but we can't do it without you. And I don't mean just from the staff perspective. I mean the perspective that you have to generate, A, the knowledge, B, the education, and C, the excitement that it takes to get these things done. And when we are working collectively as a group, nothing can stand in our way. And so this is the future of Maricopa. We are excited that you're willing to participate and to move forward in this MAP program. We're setting the pace. I don't know if he's here or not. The mayor, Pastor Van, was supposed to be here, and I think he sent his emissary instead. We welcome you, but people are paying attention. They're noticing what we're doing, and you're a part of that. And if it wasn't for you, none of this would be possible. So with that, I'll turn it back over to our economic development team. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to a very exciting 2019. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Price, for just really recapping the story of the maps, the mappers, where we started. I started with the city back in 2013, and this was one of my very first projects, was how to engage with the local community, how to get our message, our story, how to better understand what people thought Maricopa was, and how do we get the accurate information into their hands so that they can proudly share what is happening in the city. So, like the mayor said, we started in July of 2013, and here we are. We switched over to a calendar year, so all the activities will coincide, will be relevant, but I'm going to dive in a little bit more and talk about the purpose of the campaign, of the program. It really is to engage, educate, and empower. We want you to have the tools that you need to talk to your neighbors, to fellow parents at schools, to co-workers about what is happening in Maricopa. Why do they need to be confident in buying a home here, investing here, and growing their business or growing their family? So that's our purpose. We just want to provide more tools to the local residents and the local businesses so that they are confident in what's to come. So who are the Maricopa advocates? It's you guys, right here in the room. Look around. It's your neighbor, it's someone that you maybe see walking down the street every day, if you are a habitual person. But it's everyone in this room. We all have a role to play, and we all have the ability to make a huge impact in our city. So it's people with a diverse background who are passionate, who care. That's why you're here. Or it could have been the free food, but it's because you want to know a little bit more. You're curious enough to give an hour of your time today, which I promise we'll give you out here at 6 o'clock, to learn more about what's happening and how are we going to diversify the city so that there is such a bright future for everyone. So, advocates are community leaders. They're stakeholders. You are influencers. You're diverse, you're passionate. Everyone has a story to tell. Who works out of town here? Anyone? Just one, two people? And who's heard, oh, how's your commute? Oh, you live down there. The beauty of being informed and knowing your community inside and out is that you know how to dispel, well, where are they driving from? What is their community like? You don't want somebody else to tell your story. You want to tell your Maricopa story. You want to be in charge of it. And that's exactly why we have put this program together and continue to engage with the local community so that everyone has accurate tools and can tell their Maricopa story. So the mayor previously mentioned, how people talked about us in the past. This Wall Street Journal reporter that I got to spend some time with today. This is what they said about us. The poster child for housing crisis. They were building mortgages in Arizona. It was also a paradise found and a paradise lost. That's what people said. That's what they thought about us. These are the headlines today. The city of Maricopa lays the foundation for a smart future. People on the move. City of Maricopa's economic offerings continue to expand. Maricopa is a powerhouse. Isn't that what you want people to know about your city? Yeah. This is what we need to be talking about. These are the stories that we need to share, and this is what we need your help with. So who lives here? What do they look like? I think it's easy. You look around and this is who you see in the room. It's a diverse population. The median age is 33, is this on there? 33.1. There's an average of 2.5 kids. Who has a half kid? I know that. It's an educated household. It has healthy income. We are a population that has the ability to buy and sell, whether it's homes and mortgages and consumer goods. We have power. So it's important to know who you are and what your capabilities are. It's also important to know what you're known for. So, we were known for being in the top 10 affordable cities. Did anyone know that we were known for being a playful city? Is this new or not new? Okay. 6th most diverse suburb. That's really important today, in today's world. Being around a diverse community. And who knew that we had 3 A-rated schools in Maricopa? Or is this new to anyone? I mean, take a picture of that. Send that to your friends. Tell them about this. And also the 3rd safest city. Thank you. She saw right there. So what is the benefit of having a MAP program? It's expanding the understanding of the strategic plan. There's a vision, we're going somewhere. And we want people to know where we're going, and we want everyone to hop on this bus and get there together. And we want to share accurate information. And we know that with your help, we can reach more people. And your help will help us drive the economic growth of the community. So how do you do it? You just participate. You go to our website, MaricopaAdvocateProgram.com. You track your points, and you stay involved. And we will communicate with you on a regular basis. We'll extend an invite. We'll share with you what programs we have, what's been released, what are the top headlines, who's doing what development projects coming, what's on hold, what's not on hold. So at this time, I'm turning it over to Ellen Buddington, the Marketing Communications Specialist for Economic Development, to tell you a little bit about the new ways that you can get involved and how you can earn your points and what is our next MAP event.
Thank you, Denise. Mayor? All right, do we have any existing MAP graduates in the crowd? Raise your hand. And it's amazing to see you back. Thank you so much. This is a testament that shows that the program truly is effective. Well, these changes are new to you, and they're new to everyone in the program. So this year we're going with the calendar versus the fiscal year as in years past. This is a couple of reasons for this. One, it's easier to track. And two, when we celebrate our wins in December, we can celebrate with a larger crowd. As we know, in June, some of our residents tend to go home or back to their other home that's on Maricopa. And two, previously we had all of our quarterly topics established about the year in advance. This year we're making it much more topical. We aren't going to schedule our topics until we approach the date about a month in advance. So this ensures that the topics are relevant and timely for our current economic climate here in Maricopa. And three, the current mappers will probably know this. To access the map, as of yesterday, you had to go to maricopa-az.gov, then select departments, go down to economic development. On that new window, you go to the far right of the header, select map, and then you go to the bottom and then you can apply. So, in the exercise of brevity and saving time, you can now go to MaricopaAdvocateProgram.com directly to access our homepage. And finally, I'm really excited to announce this next level. We have something called the influencers within our MAP program. I hope everybody got the quick points guide. Okay, again, current mappers, this is going to be totally new. As of this year, we are actually splitting up our point system to scheduled events and unscheduled events. After 5 years, we had the revelation that not all of our residents, are thorough mappers. Some of them have lives outside of the program and may not be able to attend all of our events. So now we do have our currently scheduled events, and we're subject to add more on the left side. And then on the right side of this panel, you'll see unscheduled events. The goal of these unscheduled events is not only to get more people able to participate in the MAP program, whether they're present physically or not, it also spreads our story exponentially. It shares Maricopa's story with an audience far wider than our current reach. So you can do anything from checking into a city-sponsored meeting or event on social media, and you can compose a testimonial on why Maricopa is the perfect place to go to grow for either your business or your family. And we'll use these testimonials in our literature and collateral and future events to help sell Maricopa's story. You can also work really strong believers of recruitment. If you can recruit a business to our new business registry program, now that we got rid of business licensing, you accrue 3 points, for example. Or if you recruit a friend to a MAP, then you accrue another 3 points. Bring a friend to MAP, you even get 1 point. Again, this is all for the intention of sharing and spreading our story. Here's the point system. We did maintain our current point system, and this is also available on MaricopaAdvocateProgram.com. We'll be sending this out via email as well. And there's many tiers that I'll let you read for yourself. However, once you hit the platinum level, which you can accrue from the gamut of either unscheduled or scheduled events, you have the option of being a MAP influencer. You need to collect 20 more points of unscheduled events only to become an influencer, and in doing so, you get all of these benefits, and you also receive a special invitation from Mayor Price to an influencer recognition dinner in January. If you don't already follow us on social media, I highly recommend that you do. We'll send this presentation out via email to all of you, but Maricopa Matters is our current economic development Facebook page. Now, we are in the process of rebranding that, so it's subject to change, and we'll keep you posted. Twitter, get all our current events and our latest updates at City of Maricopa. And on LinkedIn, follow City of Maricopa if you don't already. And you can stay in tune with our content that gets updated as much as possible. For example, today, if you follow at City of Maricopa, you can view Mayor Price's podcast on why Maricopa has become a powerhouse. The next scheduled event we have is our first quarter real estate roundtable, and it's the pulse on what's to come. And it's our commercial development update about our current projects, and all that dirt you see moving around town, and all of our different parcels and lots. And that's going to be in council chambers Thursday, 8 o'clock a.m. from 8 to 9:30. And at this point, I'll hand it back over to Denise.
Thanks, Alan. So, any questions from the audience? Happy to take them. You guys are good? Oh, yes. How many mappers did we have last year? So we have cumulatively about 60 platinum graduates. So we've had maybe 120 or 130 people apply overall.
My apologies for interrupting, Denise, but I would like to point out that actually my colleague Ted here, Ted Yoakum, and myself were the first platinum level MAPs back in 2013. Good job.
Just see the testimony on it. Any other questions from the audience? Yes.
My question basically directed to Mayor Price. Mayor Price knows some of my history. I'm a council member from Wisconsin. Any city needs a good senator. When you ask a lady to show you her engagement ring, does the engagement ring pop up? Doesn't. So what's the other key to that? It's the guy that cuts the diamond and makes the best. Mayor Price, how long are you going to stay here? I know you better than the sign, but it's leadership that counts.
I'll answer that by saying continuity is a good thing, yes, especially from a development perspective, and I appreciate the support. The reality is that when the boss says it's time for me to move on, then it's time for me to move on. And so we'll see when that day comes, and that boss is twofold: my wife and the people. So we'll see what happens. But for now, I think that this is about building blocks, and it's about building upon what we have and what we don't have and what we want to see. And we don't get there overnight, but it takes a sustained effort. Whether you like it or not, all of you in this room are pioneers in one way or another. When you look out that window, when you walked in here, did you see a whole bunch of buildings out there, or did you see a bunch of dirt land? Okay? And I love looking at those pictures when you go back to let's say a building downtown, and it says, here's Phoenix in 1950. And you see a few cars, a few roads, and a few little buildings, and then here's Phoenix in 1975, 25 years later, and there's a skyscraper or two, and then there's a whole bunch more cars and a whole bunch more people, and a whole bunch more things that are offered. And then you can go see the next one that says, today. And you see that progression. And that's very much where we're at. I mean, we're only 15 years old as a city, and 8 of those years was in the middle of the worst recession since the Great Depression. So not much of a life history, and yet look what we've accomplished. If you go back and look at those articles talking about where we were in 2008, 2009, while we had seen a huge explosion, it was pretty bleak, right? And everybody's like, oh, this is terrible, this is horrific. But it wasn't Maricopa's fault. It's just the situation of the cycle we were in. And the reality is what are we going to do to make it better? We can be part of the problem, or we can be part of the solution. And my philosophy is that we are the solicitors in chief. We are the advertisers in chief. And while we have a professional department to go out there and do it, and we work with lots of partners to do it, nobody is stronger at selling Maricopa and its story than is word of mouth. End of story. Every marketer will tell you that. Word of mouth is the most powerful. So isn't it more important that you understand what's going on in your city, that you understand what it can become? And I want to say one more thing, and I know Denise always regrets giving me the microphone. I apologize, Denise, in advance. But I will tell you this. How many in here have retired? What did you do before you retired? And do you know a few people? Do you know a few business owners? Do you know people that might think Maricopa is a great fit for what they want to do and who they are, and maybe they're expanding business? And did you ever think that maybe you could go to them and say, you should locate your business in Maricopa? Now, I know that seems really far out there for some people, and others are going, well, yeah, that makes total sense, right? So I'm not asking you to be somebody you're not, but I am telling you this. I have had people in this very room come up to me and say, I've been talking with this business owner, and they would like to come to Maricopa. They don't know where to start. All I know is to talk to you, Mayor Price, and I, of course, put them in contact with Denise, or I'll talk with them. I love to talk with business owners, but at the end of the day, it's amazing what happens when the connections of networking take place, especially when it's done by a word of mouth. Because I can go out there and solicit and sell our store all day long, but if I'm in competition with 5 other cities, then I'm just another name on the docket, right? Trying to make sure our application doesn't end up in the trash. But when you're doing it, you're getting past the gatekeepers, you're getting right to the decision makers, and because you have a relationship already with those folks, you are able to do things that I can't do by myself. But together, it's amazing what we can do. Denise and I are talking about a story just the other day where a relationship of mine ended up coming to fruition a year and a half ago. And they ended up calling me, a friend of a friend called me and said, I have a doctor that's really interested in Maricopa. Can they talk to you about what's going on there and ideas? We talked a year and a half ago, and now because of that conversation, 2 years later, and the opportunity and all the work that we're putting in collectively as a joint group, we now have 2 cardiologists located in Maricopa that are going to be opening a business here. And do you think that's going to make a difference for somebody in this community? You better believe it is. And that's the power of the advocate program.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions I can answer? Yes.
For previous deal and graduates for last year, we also count that for the credit.
We can honor the points. Oh. Any other questions? Yes.
Did you say that this PowerPoint is going to be available for us to look at again?
Yes, so we will email the PowerPoint along with the documents that you receive when you register. I will share with you that the city website is under redesign. So the way it's designed today is sort of a blog roll, and information kind of makes its way to the end, and it's really hard to keep programs up at the top. So the new website will allow us to easily find information like the MAP program on the city website. So yes, this will be in your inbox.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I'm so glad that you're here. I know that the elected officials in the room that are our influencers, our ambassadors, I know the city manager back there is excited to see everyone here because there's no one else that can tell a better story than us. We know Maricopa, and we need to drive that message. So our promise to you from the city and the economic development team is that we are going to put out the content, we're going to extend the invitation, and we would love to see your participation as much as possible because that's how we're going to help create the future that we want to see in Maricopa. So if there's no other questions, we are done. Please feel free to grab some food. I don't know what it is. And thank you very much.